Begin today the Gemara towards the bottom of Tzadikei Amud Beis, 4 lines up from the bottom of the Amud, where it says Amar Abavo. This is the conclusion of the story with Sanhedrin that came and wanted to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. We learned before here in the Gemara about his downfall, and this is the conclusion of the story how Sanhedrin was in the end killed. So the Gemara Amar Abavo said El Mole Mikra Kosov. If not for the fact that it says this clearly in the pasuk, Yef Shalom Amrei, we would not be able to say this on our own. The pasuk says, "Bayemahu Yegalach Hashem," that Hashem Himself came and shaved bitar aschira with a razor that was rented, ba'oivrei Anor, from the ones that went through the river, b'melach Ashur, the king of Ashur, which is Sanhedrin, and they used to shave the saroish, his head, sar raglayim, the feet, v'gamas hazaken tispeh, and his beard was removed as well. So the Gemara here brings what exactly was the story. How did Eibishter orchestrate this? That his hair should be cut. This was a big embarrassment for him. And then eventually he got killed. So the story goes as follows. Asa kutshe berichu v'idam yilei kegavre saba. The Eibishter brought that Ramalach came and appeared in front of him like an old man. Amalei, this old man, tells Sanhedrin, after his downfall and the generals of his army and the great people of his army were all killed, Ki azlas legabe malche mizrach u'mayrev. When you're going to return back to the kings from the east and the south and the west, da'isinu levenayu, you brought their children with you. The katlasinu, and you caused them to all be killed. As the Gemara here said before, when he came with many of the princes from the kings with him to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, and they all got killed. My Amr, what are you going to tell them? How are you going to explain what happened? Amalahu, so Sanhedrin said to this old man, Hahu Gavre, Bahu Pachta Nami Yosef. This individual, referring to himself, is also sitting in this fear. I don't know what to do. Amalei Heichi Navet. So he asked this old man, the Malach that appeared to him as an old man, what should I do? Amalei, so he said to him, Zil Vishoni Nafshech. Go and change your appearance. Change yourself, and no one will know who you are. How should I change my appearance? Amalei, the old man tells him, Zil Aisili Mispera, bring me a scissor, V'yigaizich, and I'll cut off all your hair. V'yigaizich ano, and I'll cut off all your hair. So he asked, Meheche Aisi, from where should I bring this scissor or razors? Amalei, Olahu Beise, go into this house, and V'aisi, and you'll bring for me. Azali went, Ashkechinu, he found a house. Now also Malachi Shoris. Malachim came, V'idmulei, and they appeared to him in the house, Kegavri, like people, and they were grinding the pits from dates. Amalei, he said to them, Havali Mespera, give me a scissors. Amalei, so they said to him, Toin chad grive de kashyaisa. First, you should grind a grive, which is a saw of these pits from the dates, and we'll give you the scissors. So Tochen chad grive, he ground the pits of the date, the kashaisa from the dates, and v'yavalei misparta. They gave him the scissors. Now, Adasa, by the time he came back to the old man, ichshech, it became dark. Amalei, so the old man tells him, Zil aisi nura, go bring a fire. It should be light. Azal, so Sanhedrin went, v'aisi nura, and he brought a fire. When he was blowing the flame of the fire, itli be'nura bedikne, the fire caught onto his beard. And Ozal, and then after this old man went, which was all the Eibishter brought a malach, Gazia, that is, L'reishe, V'dikne, and he cut off all the hairs from his head, his beard. Amru, and they said about this, Hainu d'chsiv, this is the meaning of the pasuk here, where it says, V'gamas hazaken tispeh. So regarding the hairs, it says that Sarosh v'sar raglayim, V'gamas hazaken tispeh. Why does it use this term tispeh? It should say giluach, to shave. The term tispeh means because it got burnt in the fire, as the Gemara here said the story. Now, Rav Papa said about this, Hainu the Omri Inchi, this is what people say, Grirarte la'arma shaprile. If you did such a thing to a guy, and he's okay with it, he allows you to do this to him, Itlile nure bedikne, v'leisavas chochemine. So burn a fire and it'll burn his beard, and you won't have enough to laugh from him. This is what people say about this incident that happened there. Basically, you see here how Sanhedrin got degraded and embarrassed by all of this, and this was midah keneged midah, by the fact that Sanhedrin was the one that used to speak against the Eibishter in a degrading manner. Then what happened? Ozal, Sanhedrin went, Ashkach dafa mitevusa de Noach. He found a board that was from the Teva of Noach. Omar, so he says, Hainu alakar rabba d'sheis v'leneich mitefana. This is the great God that saved Noach from the Mabul. And so Omar, he said, if that individual, referring to himself, will go and be successful, I will sacrifice 2 of my sons for you. Shamu Benoi, his sons heard what he said, so they got afraid that he's going to sacrifice them for Hashem. V'katlu, and they killed him. And Hainu d'chsiv, was the Sanhedrin's end, and this is what the pasuk says: Vayihu mishtachve beis nasroi chelakov. They killed him. So what does the pasuk here mean when it says Beis Nasrach Alakov? This Nasrach is this Neser. It refers to this board from the Teva that he found, and he was bowing to Hashem, and he promised Hashem that he'll do everything that Hashem should save him, and his children came and killed him. Okay, now the Gemara begins a new inyan. Rashi says, because it was mentioned before about the Malachim that came and killed the army of Sanhedrin in the middle of the night, so it brings over here another thing that happened similar regarding when Avram was fighting the 4 kings. The pasuk there says, "Vayachalek aleim laila hu va'avodav vayakim v'geimer." So the simple pshat is that they divided then in the middle of the night, but it says "Vayachalek aleim laila." So it doesn't say ba laila; it says laila. So what does this mean? Amar Rabbi Yechanan, so Rabbi Yechanan says, "Oisay malach shenistam alei Avram." That malach that came to help Avram in this battle, laila shmoi. The name of this malach is Laila. Shanama, we see that there's a malach named with this name Laila. Laila says that the man should give birth, meaning that there's a malach that is the malach of all pregnancies, and his name is Laila. That's one shot. Rav Yitzchak Nafcha says she'asa imay ma'isa Laila, that the malach did with him ma'isa Laila, which means shenema min shemayim nilchamu akechavim. Just like we find by the Muhammad with Sisra, that the stars of the night, they fought against Sisra. So here too, the stars of the night, they fought for Avraham Avinu. That's the taich of Laila here. That's Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha's pshat. So the Gemara says, and there's some Reish Lakish said about these 2 pshatim, Tava de Nafcha midebar Nafcha. The pshat of Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, he was called Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha because Nafcha means a blacksmith. The pshat of Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha is better than the pshat of Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Yechanan is called in Gemara many times Bar Nafcha. Why was he called Bar Nafcha? So one pshat Rashi says because his father was a blacksmith. Another pshat Rashi says Bar Nafcha means that he was very beautiful, as the Gemara says about Rabbi Yechanan, and apparently Bar Nafcha is just a euphemism about his beauty. Now going back to the story by Avram, it says Vayirdaif, he chased after the kings ad Dan, until Dan, and there he stopped. Rabbi Yechanan said, why? When Avram came to the place Dan, Tashash Koichai, he got weakened. Because Ra, B'nai Banav Shasidin Lavad Avedizara Badan. He saw his descendants that will serve Avedizara there in Dan. Shanem, as the pasuk says, Vayasem Ese'echad B'Veisel, V'Se'echad Nasem Badan. This is regarding Yeravam that made 2 golden calves, and he put one in Beisel and one in Dan. And so therefore that place of Avedizara weakened him. Va'af Vaisei Rasha. So too regarding Nebuchadnezzar that came to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. Loinis Gaber did not have the might to do this until he came to the place Dan. Shanem, as the pasuk says, Midan Nishma Nachrasusav. That from Dan was heard the snorting of the horses that came to destroy the Beis Hamikdash. That was because of David Zareh that they worshipped over there. Rab Zeire said, Afagav the Shalach, Rabbi Yehuda ben Eseire min Tzivin. Although Rabbi Yehuda ben Eseire sent the following thing to say from the Tzivin, so he said a few things. He said, first of all, Hizaru bezokin, be careful with an older person that learned a lot of Torah, but now sheshachach talmudai, he forgot the Torah that he learned. But you should still give him his honor, because machmas einsei, it's an einus out of his control that he forgot his Torah. And also vehizaru beveridin ke Rabbi Yehuda, be careful to fulfill what Rabbi Yehuda said when you shech the chicken regarding the veridin, the veins that have to be cut open to allow the blood to flow out. And this is a machlokes as Rashi brings in the Gemara in Chulin regarding this. So he says, be careful to fulfill like Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. And another thing he said, and that's what the Gemara is bringing this for, Ve'zaru b'vnei amei haaretz, be careful with the children of the amei haaretz, shemehen teitze Torah, because from them will come Torah. And what the Gemara is bringing here is based on what it's going to bring later, eventually in the Hemshech of the whole sugya here, that we find that there were great Tanoim and great Talmidei Chachamim that came from who? They were Gedim that came from the biggest Rishayim. So we see that even from the lowest people can come out Torah. So this is what Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira sent. But now, however, Rav Zera adds to this, Ki ha milsa medina lahu. However, this point here, we let them know. Now, what is this point here that we let them know? So Rashi has two pshatim. One pshat Rashi says is, we'll see in the continuation of the Gemara that, for example, from Nevuzradon Arosha, or actually, sorry, Nebuchadnezzar, that is. Nebuchadnezzar. So he had tremendous koyach that the Eibishter gave him. How is this? What's the koyach that he had? Only because of 4 steps that he took for the Eibishter's sake. As we'll see soon in the Gemara, the story about this. So this is the point that we tell to people that they have Torah, even though they're Bnei Ha'aretz, that they shouldn't think that it's their schus that they have Torah, but it's because of something that their father or grandfather had a certain schus, so they shouldn't take credit on their own. Or Rashi says another pshat that it's going back to what it says before. That's a sort of an opposite pshat, that you have the descendants of Sanhedrin actually, that were Talmidei Chachamim, and they shouldn't think that it's any schus of Sanhedrin, because Sanhedrin didn't have any schus, but it's rather the Torah that they learned. That's the schus that they have. But they don't have a nice yichus or any schus from their parents. They don't have. Okay, but the point of this Keham Milsa Medina law is that they should not become Baligaiva when they learn Torah. So here the Gemara is going to start now the whole story that will be about these Dalet Psiyas, these 4 steps of Nebuchadnezzar. So the Gemara says as follows: Tzaddik, the pasuk says, Tzaddik ato Hashem, ki orev elecha, ach mishpatim adaber itcha. Hashem is righteous, but I contend with you and I speak with you the following thing of justice. Madua derech Rishon tzleicha. Why is the way of Rishonim successful? Shalu kol beigdei baged, that those that come and are treacherous, they are peaceful. And natatem gam shiroshu, they plant and it takes root. Yelchu gam asu peri, and they also have fruit. Why is this? Why do we see such Rishonim like this that have such reward? So Maya Hadrele, what was the answer to this question that Yirmiyah asked? So the Gemara brings, the answer is that they told him, Ki es raglam rotzasa v'yelucha. They run with their feet and you become tired. Ve'eich tischares asusim. If you can't run like another runner, a person, so then you for sure can't compete with horses that are running much quicker. Ube'eretz shalom atu b'teach. In a dry land that you were confident that you could run there, but you can't. So if so, but if you're going to be by the riverbanks of the Yarden with there's waves and there's water, for sure you can't run there. That's the pasuk in the translation. But what is this pasuk saying? It's a mashal. So the Gemara says, mashal adam echad, the analogy of a person, Sha'amar, that said, Yachal ani laretz gimel parsais lefnei asusim. I can run 3 parsais ahead of horses. And where? Bein bitzei mayim, even in puddles of water where it's difficult to run. So what happened? There was a person that was going by foot, Ratz lefan of Gimel Milim. He ran just 3 mil, much less than 3 parsais, by a basha, and it was on dry land and vanilla, and he already got tired. So Amalei, they said to him, if when you're running in front of a person that's going by foot, you can't go ahead of him, you get tired after 3 mil, lefnei asusim, in front of the horses that are running much quicker, alachas kam v'kam, was definitely you'll get tired. Umash loishes milin, if by 3 million you got tired, kach gimel parsais alachas kam v'kam, if you would have to go 3 parsa, definitely you can't. And umabi abashakach, this was all on dry land, ben bitzei mayim, that is, by puddles of water, alachas kam v'kam, definitely you wouldn't have the power for this. So this is the mashal. What's the nimshal here? Afato, so too I say to you, the Eibusha says to Yirmiyah, Uma b'schar arbe pesiyas. Sheshilamti lo yisir Rasha. There are 4 steps that this Rasha Nebuchadnezzar took, that I paid him. Sharatz acha kveidi. He went 4 steps, he ran for my honor. So atatamiya, you wonder, what is the schar that I'm going to give him? So how much more so? So that's a regular person, a person like Nebuchadnezzar that's walking, that's going 4 steps. If so, when I give reward to the Avis, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that they run much quicker like horses. Definitely they serve Hashem on a much greater level. Most definitely you can't at all fathom what kind of reward Hashem gives to them and their descendants. And this is the pasuk that it says, Nishbar libi b'kirbi, the Nevi'im, their heart is broken in them. Rachafu kol atzmaisai, my bones are shaking. Hayisik yishikar, I'm like a drunk person. And like someone that drank wine, mipnei Hashem, mipnei dvar kotshei, because of Hashem and His holy words. And this is even regarding the schar that the Eibusha gives just for Nebuchadnezzar. How much more so the schar that the Eibusha gives for the office? So now, what is the actual story? Hani dalet psiis mahi. What are the 4 steps of Nebuchadnezzar? The pasuk says, "Be'esahi." In that time, who was the king? Shalach Meroidach Baladon ben Baladon Melech Bavel, the king of Bavel, which was Meroidach, and he signed his name Meroidach Baladon ben Baladon. The king of Bavel, he sent Svarim, he sent a letter, and the pasuk goes on there also to say that he sent a gift. And who did he send this to? He sent it to Chizkiyahu Melech. Why? Because Chizkiyahu was ill and recovered from his illness, and he sent him a letter and a gift. So the Gemara explains what happened. Mishum ki chale Chizkiyahu vayachzak shadalei svarim mincha, because Chizkiyahu was ill and he recovered, so he sends him a letter and he sends him a mincha, he sends him a gift. So the Gemara says, yes, because what happened? Lidroish hamayfes hashayah ba'aretz, because the king Meroidach Baladan, he was trying to figure out what's this miracle that took place in Eretz Yisrael. What taka happened when Chizkiyahu got healed? Rabbi Yechanan said as follows. On that day that Achaz, which was a king from Malchi Yisrael, when he died, and he was a Rasha, Shtei Shais Haya. Hashem made it that there should be only 2 hours left in the day, because the Eibishter didn't want there should be enough time to eulogize him properly, that he didn't deserve it, and therefore Hashem brought the sun to set 10 hours ahead of its time, and there were only 2 hours left in the day. Now, when Chizkiyahu was ill and he almost passed away, and he then recovered, the Eibishter gave back another 10 hours to the day, and the day instead of being 12 hours was 22 hours. The Chsiv, the pasuk says, I will return back the shadow that there is and the different degrees in the angle of the sun. That the sun set early, 10 degrees, 10 hours it set early. Now the sun returned those 10 hours from the place where it set early by Achaz. That's what happened when Chizkiyahu recovered. So here's where Meroidach, the king of Bavel, he saw this, that the day is 22 hours. He said, "My hi, what is this?" So they told him, Chizkiyahu was ill, and when he got healed, this is what happened. Okay, and the Mashal actually says that the sun that was there out the extra hours, that's what healed him. So the king said, there's such a great individual that causes such a miracle, and I shouldn't send him a greeting. So Kosvule, he wrote him a letter, Shlama Lamalka Chizkiyahu, a greeting to the king Melech, the king Chizkiyahu, Shalom Lekarta Yerushalayim, peace for the city of Yerushalayim, Shalom L'Alakar Rabba, and peace for the Eibishter, the great Eibishter that made this miracle. That's the letter that the king wrote. Now, Nebuchadnezzar safreid the Baladan Hava. At that time, Nebuchadnezzar, he was the scribe of Baladan. At that time, when this letter was written to send to Chizkiyahu, he wasn't there. Kiyasa, when he came, Amalahu, so he asked them, how did you write this letter? So Amrulay, they told him, they told him what they wrote in the letter. Amalahu, so Nebuchadnezzar said, Kirisule elakar Rabba. You refer to the Eibishter as elakar Rabba. And you write Shalom for the Eibishter only at the end of the letter. First you write for Chizkiyahu and then for Yerushalayim, and only the end of the Eibishter. So Omar, the king, Meroidach Baladan said, Nebuchadnezzar said, this is how you have to write. Shalom elakar Rabba. First you write Shalom for the Eibishter, then Shalom l'Karta Yerushalayim, and then Shalom l'Malka Chizkiyahu. So Amri Lei, they said to him, the one that's reading the letter, let him go and do it. Meaning you go ahead and make sure that the letter should be changed. So Ro'ad Basrei, he went out to run after the person that was going to deliver the letter. Kideroet, Arba B'siyis, when he ran 4 steps, Osa Gavriel v'oikmei. Gavriel came and stopped him. So these were the 4 steps that he ran for the honor of the Eibishter. Now the Gemara says about this, Rabbi Yechanan said, if Gavriel would not come and stop him, there would be nothing left of the enemies of the Yidden, referring to Yidden themselves. Meaning that because he ran 4 steps, the Eibishter allowed him to go and destroy the Beis HaMikdash. But if he would have ran more, he would have chas v'shalom got rid of Klal Yisrael altogether. Now, regarding the king of Bavel in that time, what did it say before? What was his name? Meroidach Baladan ben Baladan. What does this mean? His father's name was Baladan. His name was also Baladan. So my Baladan ben Baladan. Why is he signing his name? Why is he saying that his name is Baladan ben Baladan? Amri, So they said, Biladon Malkahava. His father was Biladon the king. What happened is, V'ishtani Ape, Kidikalba. And his face changed and it became like a face of a dog. So he couldn't be a king anymore. Hava Yosef Brei al Malchusa. His son was sitting on the throne of the king. But Ksiv, when he would write, Ksiv Shmei Shmei Davua. He would write his name and his father's name. Biladon Malka. So he wouldn't just write his name, which was Mereidich ben Biladon, but he wrote Mereidich Biladon, his father's name, and then also ben Biladon. And this is what the pasuk says: Ben Yachabed of, a son which gives honor to his father, Ve'eved Adainov, and the servant that gives the honor to his master. Ben Yachabed of Hadamaran refers to this king Biladon that gave honor to his father. Ve'eved Adainov, this that it says there in the pasuk that the servant gives the honor to his master. What is this referring to? So this refers to the time of the Churban Beis Hamikdash. The pasuk says, "Uvachodesh hachamishi." In the 5th month, in Chodesh Av, Basel HaChodesh, and the 10th of the Chodesh, he Shnas Teisha Esrei Shana LaMelech Nebuchadnezzar, the 19th year of the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel. Ba Nevuzradon, Rav Tabachim Nevuzradon, which was the Rav Tabachim, the one that butchers. Amad Lefnei Melech Bavel Yerushalayim. He stood in front of the king of Bavel in Yerushalayim by Yisrep, his Beis Hashem, his Beis HaMelech. He burnt the Beis HaMikdash. So in the pasuk there, it simply says that he did this and he stood in front of Nebuchadnezzar in Yerushalayim. But the question is, did Nebuchadnezzar himself also go up to Yerushalayim? But Vaksiv, there's a pasuk that says in that time period that Vayalo it Oisai el Melech Bavel. They brought him to the king of Bavel, where? Which was Rivlosa. And Vamra Bavo Zu Antuchya. This Rivlosa is Antuchya, and this Antuchya is not in Eretz Yisrael. So Nebuchadnezzar did not come to Eretz Yisrael. So Rav Chisda, Rav Yitzchak, Parav Dimi. So they both said an interpretation about this. Chadama one said, the image of Nebuchadnezzar was engraved in the carriage that Nevuzradim went to Yerushalayim to destroy the Beis HaMikdash. But V'chadamar, another said, Eima Yiseira Haisalei Mimenu. He had a tremendous fear from his master, from Nebuchadnezzar, as if he was mamish standing in front of him. That's what the pasuk is speaking about, the Eved and his master, Nevuzradon and his master Nebuchadnezzar. So again, the Gemara says the story here about how Nebuzradan destroyed the Beis HaMikdash. Omar Rava said, Ta'in, he had loaded Klas Meya Kudnaisa, 300 mules that had Narge the Parzala, iron axes, the Shalad the Parzala, that are very strong axes that are able to smash another axe. Shadle Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuzradan. This is what Nebuchadnezzar sent for Nebuzradan to destroy the Beis HaMikdash. Now, when he came to break open the door, the entrance to the city of Yerushalayim, Kulu balasinu chadash Yerushalayim. They were all broken by one door of Yerushalayim that he tried to break open, and instead these very strong iron axes broke. Shanema, as the pasuk says, Pitucheha Yachad Bekashu v'Chalapis Yaloimon, that the city of Yerushalayim, the wall of the city Pitucheh, which was carved out. So Bekashu v'Chalapis, he had these hammers and hatchets that he banged and he pounded, but they all broke. So after Nebuzradan saw this, he wanted to go back. Omar, he said, Mistafina, I'm afraid it shouldn't happen to me like what happened to Sanhedrin. The Gemara said before that Nebuzradan was actually part of the army of Sanhedrin as well. So Nafka Kol of Omar Abaskal came out and said, Shver bar Shver, the man that jumps, the son of the one that jumps. Nebuzradan, Shver, you can jump, you can go and destroy the Beis HaMikdash. The Motte, Zimne, the time came, the Mikdash Acharev, the Heichle Mikli, that the Beis HaMikdash will be destroyed and the Heichel will be burnt. Pashle Chadnage, he had one axe left over. Also, then he came, Machye Bekupa, he used not the sharp side of the axe, he used the other side, the wood of the axe. And Ve'iftach, and he banged with it, and the door opened. Shenem, as the pasuk says, Yivoda, it's known, Kimevi Lamaila B'svach Eitz Kardumais, that he brought in the eights of the Kardumais, even the wooden side of the Kardumais, and he was able to break open the door. So then Nebuzradan went, have a kotl of Azel, he was killing, and he went Adamotel Hechla until he came to the Hechel of the Beis HaMikdash. Adlik Bein Nura, and he lit the fire in the Beis HaMikdash. Gove Hechle, the Hechel lifted up to go up into Shemayim. Dorchu Bein Mishmaya, so from heaven they pushed it back down that it should be burnt. Shenema, the pasuk says, Gas Dorach Hashem leBesulas Bas Yehuda, that the Eibush to push down the Besulas Bas Yehuda, which refers to the Beis HaMikdash. After this, Nebuzradan was so successful and he burnt the Beis HaMikdash, he was haughty with himself. Nafke Baskal of Amra Lay, a Baskal came out and said to him that don't take credit for any of this. Ama Ketila Kotlas. You killed people that were already dead because they deserve to die. Heichla Kalya Kolas. The Heichel that you burnt was already burnt. Kimcha Tchina Tchinas. This is like ground flour that you're grinding. Shanema, the Pasuk says, when it speaks about the Chorban, Chi Rechaim, take a mill, v'tachni kemach, and grind flour. It's already flour. Glid Semasech, uncover the hairs of your sides, and chasfi shayval gali shaik oivre nares, that you'll have to uncover your thighs and go through the river. This is chitim. All right. So this is the pasuk here that says about the churban when the Yidden will have to be exiled. So the Gemara is medayik in the pasuk chitim loy ne'amar. It doesn't say that you should take kernels of wheat and grind them. Elakemach. Rather, it says that it was flour. Okay. So this is the story about Nevuzradan. Now it says. This is the story here, and you have the same exact story in the Gemara in Gittin. Chaza damei de Zachariah davakadosach. He saw blood, and this was the blood of Zachariah that was killed years before, that the blood was still there on the ground, boiling, bubbling. Amalahu, so he said to the people, my hi, what is this? Amrulay, they told him, Dam zvachamu, this is the blood from Karbanis, the ishtapach that got spilled there. Amalahu, he said to them, I see, v'nasi, let me bring and shech the animal, and let's see if it's the same. If it's compared, if it's the same. Kasi, so he shechted an animal, the blood here wasn't the same like the blood. Amalahu, so he said to the people, Galuli, let me know who this is. V'iloi, if not, seriknu l'chul b'saraychu, v'masrika the parzel. If not, I will comb your flesh with the iron comb. So Amrulay, they told him, hi, Koyin v'navi hu. This was Zachariah, which was a Koyin and a Navi. The Invilu Yisrael b'churban de Yerushalayim, he prophesied about the Churban of Yerushalayim v'katlu, and because of this, the Yidden killed him. So Amalahu, so Nevuzradan said, Anam v'sinalei, I will appease and stop the blood from boiling. I see Rabbanan Kotilove. He brought the Talmid Chachamim and he killed them there. The blood didn't stop boiling. I see Dardik the Beirav. He brought the children Kotilove and he killed them there. The blood didn't stop boiling. I see Pirchei Kohoni. He brought the young Kainim Kotilove. He killed them there. It still didn't stop. The Kotilove Tishin Va'arba Riboy. 940,000 he killed there. And and this blood still did not stop. So he came to the blood and Omar, he said, Zachariah, the best amongst Yidden, I already killed them. Are you interested? I should kill all of them. Immediately the blood stopped boiling. But then after this incident, the Gemara says, he had a thought of tshuva in his mind. And Omar, he said to himself, if for them, the Yidden, that they only killed one person, this is the Navi Zachariah, and this is what happens to them, that individual referring to himself that killed so many, what's going to be his punishment? So Arak, he ran away, Shada Portisa Lebeise, he sent the will to his home, and then he ran away with his Gayer, and he converted, he became a Ger. And here, and this is connecting back to what we said before about the Talmid Chachamim that have come from Am Haaretz. So here he became a Ger and he had great people that came from him. So here the Gemara says in connection to this, Tana Rabbanan, we learned in Abraisa, Naaman Ger Toshav Haya. Naaman, which was a general in the army of Aram, I think it is. So he was a Ger Toshav, meaning he wasn't Mamish a Ger, but he was a Ger Toshav. Nevuzradan Ger Tzedek Haya, he was a Ger Tzedek. And Mibnei Banav Shal Sisra Lam the Torah b'Yerushalayim. From the descendants of Sisra, they learned Torah in Yerushalayim. Mibnei Banav Shal Sancherev Lim the Torah b'Rabim. The descendants of Sancherev also learned Torah b'Rabim. Uman Ninu, who are they? Shmaya v'Avtalyan. And Mibnei Banav Shal Haman Lam the Torah b'Bnei Barak. The descendants of Haman learned Torah in Bnei Barak. And in one Gerse here, it says that who is this? Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas. V'af Mibnei Banav Shal Eisei Rasha. And also the descendants of this Rasha, referring to Nebuchadnezzar, Bikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu la'achnisan tachas kanfi Shechina. The Eibishter wanted them to be brought under the wings of the Shechina, to be Geirim. Amr Malach Yashar Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but the Malachim said in front of Hashem, Ribayne Shalayla, Misha Hechrev es Beischa, the one that destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, V'sarav es Eichalecha, and burnt the Eichel, Tachnis tachas kanfi Shechina. You will bring him under the wings of the Shechina. And Hainu D'chsev, this is what the pasuk says: Rapinu as Bavel. We wanted to heal Bavel, but it wasn't healed. Meaning the descendants of Nebuchadnezzar that were not Megayer. Ula says Nebuchadnezzar. This refers to Nebuchadnezzar, like we just said. Rab Shmuel ben Achmeni Omar Elu Nar is Bavel. This refers to the rivers by Bavel, and V'tirgim, and he explained this, the Tzinaisa de Bavloi. This refers to the palm trees in Bavel, that the dates were bitter, and they could not heal it, they could not change that. Omar Ola said, Amaynu Mayav Shivivi Bishi Yerushalayim Abba. Aman and Mayav were bad neighbors for Yerushalayim. Why? Because Ki Kevin the Shaminu Lenaviyah. The Kamisnaba Lechorban of Yerushalayim, when they heard that the Nevuah, that is going to be the Chorban of Yerushalayim, so Shalchu Nebuchadnezzar, so they sent a message to Nebuchadnezzar, Puk Visa, come out and come here to destroy the Beis HaMikdash. So Amar Nebuchadnezzar said, Mistafin, I'm afraid Le'levad Likadavid B'kamoy. I don't want it to happen to me like what happened to the one before me, which is the Sanhedrin. Nebuchadnezzar was also part of the army of Sanhedrin. So Shalchu Lei, so Amar and Moav, they sent back to him, the man is not in the home. What does this mean when they said the man is not in his home? This refers to the Eibishter. Hashem is not with them anymore in the Beis HaMikdash. But he sent back to them to say, he's still nearby. And Vasi, he's going to come. They sent back, that no, he's already far away from the Yidden. Shalach lahu, but Nebuchadnezzar still sent to Amon and Moav to say, Islu tzadiki. They have tzadikim, the boy Rachmi, that will daven. Umaisele, and they'll bring the Eibishter. Shalchalei, they sent back to say, Tzroir, HaKesef, Lokach b'yodai. The bundle of silver he took in his hands, Ve'en kesef el tzadikim. The kesef refers to tzadikim. Shenema, as it says, Ve'echra li, V'chamisha asa kesef, V'chaymer, Sa'oirim, V'lesech Sa'oirim. That the Eibishter says that I bought for me, I redeemed the Yidden in the schus of Chamisha Sakesef, this is a hint over here to the hidden tzaddikim that there are. Rashi says that a chaymer is 30 sa and a lesach is 15. Together that's 45. These are 45 tzaddikim that there is in every generation. Whether 30 in Eretz Yisrael, 15 out of Eretz Yisrael, and that's the chaymer and the lesach. So over here we see that kesef refers as a mashal to tzaddikim. So they sent to say to Nebuchadnezzar that the tzaddikim are gone. Shalach lahu, but Nebuchadnezzar still sent and said, Hadri Rishi b'tshuva, that the Rishayim are going to do tshuva, u'boi rachmi, and then they're going to daven. U'maisle, they'll bring the Eibishter back. Shalchulei, they sent him, kvar kova lahem zman. The Eibishter already set a time when the Chorban is going to be. Shenemar, it says, layem kesa yavai beisai, and then kesa el zman. That he's going to come in that time to the house, to the Beis HaMikdash, and Kesa means a specific time. Shenema ba Kesa la Yom Chagenu, which refers to Shoshana, refers to a specific time. So Shalach lahu, Nebuchadnezzar sent to say to Amon and Moav, Sisvuhu, it's winter, v'le matzina da'asi, and I can't come, mitlago mimitra, because of the snow and the rain. So Shalchalei, they sent him back from Amon and Moav to tell him, you should come, Ashina de Tura. You can come and travel under the mountains and you'll be protected there from the rain and the snow. Shanem, as the pasuk says, Shalchu, Kar, Moishel, Eretz, Misela, Midbara, Al Har Basiyin. That you can travel, you can come under the big rocks, and like this, you'll travel up to Har Basiyin. Shalach lahu, then Nebuchadnezzar sent and said, Iyasinal, if I will come, Leslie Duchta de Yasivnebe. I don't have a place where I'll be there. Shalchulei, they sent back to Nebuchadnezzar to tell him, Kvareis shalahem, their burial places, Mu'ulin mipalterin shalcha, are better than your palaces. Because he then used to bury in caves. So they have a lot of space in their caves. This chsiv, now the pasuk says about this, Be'esehi in that time, Nuhum Hashem, Yitziu es atzmes Malchi Yehuda, es atzmes Sarah, es atzmes Akaina, es atzmes Anavim, es atzmes Esh Yerushalayim b'Kevreim. They took out all the bones, all the people that were buried from in their caves, in their burial places, and V'shatchum l'shemesh l'yireach, l'chol tzva Shemayim, they spread them out outside, Asher Ahavim, and those are the ones that the Yidden served as an Avodah Zarah. And that's when Nebuchadnezzar came and destroyed the Beis HaMikdash. So this was all caused by Amon and Moav that were bad neighbors that encouraged him to come and destroy the Beis HaMikdash. The Gemara is going to continue talking about Mashiach. Okay.